Good afternoon. I'm indeed going to talk as well about artificial intelligence. I'm going to talk about how artificial intelligence is used when creating chatbots. And I will share with you a market research application of a chatbot that is driven by artificial intelligence. I think at the moment it are the buzzwords within the market research industry, but also within the marketing industry, within the business world. Everybody is talking about automation and artificial intelligence nowadays. And I believe for a very good reason, because artificial intelligence is the technology behind the next wave of disruption in business and in society. If we look at the recent history of market research, the last 20 years, so to say, we have seen two waves of transformation, two waves of disruption. The first wave was when we moved from offline research to online research. That transformed the research industry. The second wave, a little bit more recent, was when we started introducing social and mobile technology to our world. I think those two waves of change in our industry have changed our industry dramatically. Well, automation and AI is the wave of change that is coming at us right now. And the impact of it, I believe, will be twice as big as the previous two waves together, and it will go twice as fast. So we had about 10 years to adapt our business models to online. We had about, let's say, 5 to 10 years to adapt our business models to social and mobile technologies. I think we will only have like 5 to 3 years to adapt our business model to artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence and automation will put the market research industry on its head. It will be a shock effect that will go through our industry. This is what Ray Pointer, one of the industry trend watchers, is saying about it. He says that in the next 3 to 5 years, 75% of what we do as jobs, as tasks within market research, will be taken over by automation or by artificial intelligence. Think about that. In the next 3 to 5 years, 75% of the things humans do within our industry right now will be taken over by machines. Do you see what kind of shockwave this will bring to our industry? So, do we need to be afraid? Do we need to be afraid of artificial intelligence? Well, first of all, I think it's a human reaction to be afraid of the new. Humans were afraid of steam engines. We were afraid of electricity. Some people in the room maybe can remember the days that we were afraid of the internet. Well, it's logic that we are afraid of this new kind of fluffy technology, artificial intelligence. But I think we need to see it not as a threat, but as an opportunity. It can really be an opportunity for us market researchers. Why? Well, for two reasons. First of all, automation can make that we can eliminate the kind of repetitive tasks we all do. It can get rid of the so-called monkey jobs in our industry. Nobody likes to run analysis in SPSS, the basic analysis. Nobody likes to create graphs over and over again. Nobody likes all the repetitive tasks that we're doing in our industry. So if we can give those to machines, that will leave us researchers, humans, with the added value tasks. So we can put more time and effort in talking to our clients, understanding their business issues. We can talk more also in real with consumers. We can focus more on turning data into true consumer insights. We can focus more on turning insights into business impact. So we can really work more than with people. So I think it's a true opportunity. Let's leave the repetitive tasks, the monkey jobs, to the machines. And let's focus on what makes us humans great researchers. Understanding business issues, human engagement, and turning insights into impact. The second reason why I believe it's an opportunity is because machines will allow us to do things that are just not possible today. And then I start to think that artificial intelligence can augment our own human intelligence. What happens if humans work together with a machine? So a machine is helping a human to make a better decision. So it's not the machine that makes the decision, it's not the human that makes the decision, it's the machine and the human that make the decision together. Well, in Silicon Valley, there are interesting companies like Quid, run by Sean Gourley, a famous TED Talk speaker. And their research shows that if you have a race between humans making certain decisions, machines making certain decisions, and then humans and machines working together, the last team always wins. When machines and humans work together, both of them are smarter, or the team is smarter. So that's why I believe we don't need to see artificial intelligence as a threat. We don't need to be scared when we look at Ray Pointer's quote that 75% of what we know today will be gone in 3 to 5 years from now. Start seeing it as an opportunity. Give away the repetitive tasks to machines and think about how human-machine collaboration can allow us to do things that are just not possible today. But what do you need to do? If this is the future, if this is going to happen, and if we see it as an opportunity, what do you need to do today? Well, today, you need to start to experiment. Why? Well, every other technology that we have seen entering our industry followed a linear adoption curve, the black line on the slide. It went slow. We had time to adapt our business models to online and social and mobile. Let's be honest. New technologies like artificial intelligence are exponential technologies, which means that they get better almost by the day, they get cheaper almost by the day, so that means that the adoption will go hyper fast. So something that looks like science fiction today, in just a couple of months from now, it's very realistic to do things with it. So that means if you don't start to experiment with it right now, although it's not perfect yet, although it's maybe not totally applicable yet, you can be out of the game in just a few months or a few years from now. So start experiment with those technologies today. What's the state of AI today? Well, like already was mentioned in the previous presentation, you have 3 kind of phases in AI. We are now, I think, in the first phase. Most of the applications that you see of artificial intelligence, you also have seen in the previous presentation, are narrow AI applications. Meaning, a machine can do one specific thing very well. Sometimes better than humans can do it. Like playing a game of Go. One particular thing very well. The next phase, and we start to see glimpses of that, is general AI. A computer can do many different things and can be good at many different tasks, just like we humans are. And the third phase will be superintelligence. And superintelligence is when machines become smarter than humans, or even when one machine becomes smarter than all humans on the planet. Scientists are still debating if we will reach that stage by 2035, 2040, or 2045. So, for market research, we have still at least 20 years to go. We still have 20 years where our human kind of intelligence of engaging with our internal stakeholders or our clients, turning data into insights, turning insights into impact, for the next 20 years our careers are safe. After that, I don't know yet. But for the next 20 years, you're safe, but you will need to learn how to work together with those narrow and general AI systems. And you need to start experimenting today with narrow AI, or rule-based systems. And that's what we also do at Insights Consulting within our innovation labs. We work on chatbots that can moderate research communities. We are working on systems that can help our panel managers to look into the future, to see if panel members will still be active in 2 months from now. A machine is making those predictions. We are also looking at AI systems to help with qualitative and quantitative data analysis. And we are working on chatbots that help to diffuse insights within an organization. And that's the application, that's the case I'm going to talk about to you today. So, what we actually did is we created a chatbot that internal stakeholders within an organization can talk to. The chatbot is smart. It's driven by an AI system, and it helps actually the corporate researcher, so the client-side researcher of an organization, to diffuse insights within the organization, to bring the insights to the people that need them at that moment. We have called our chatbot Galvin. Why Galvin? Well, first of all, we saw that you have Siri, you have Alexa, so we wanted a male kind of chatbot. It's the first male chatbot, I think, in the history. Galvin. So Galvin is linked to a database of consumer insights. The database of consumer insights is created by a human. So it's not a database of reports, not a database of raw data. It's a database of insights curated by a human being. It's not possible yet, and I think it will not be possible in the next 10 to 20 years, that an AI system goes into raw data and starts to craft real true consumer insights. Luckily. Again, luckily, that's still our job. So Galvin searches into that database. You chat with Galvin from whatever chat platform you want. And we use 2 pieces of open source software to, on the one hand, make Galvin smart. That's Luis AI. Uses NLP, natural language processing, to translate the question that you type in into search terms that he uses to search for in the database. And Cortana from Microsoft gives Galvin like personality, so that he becomes fun to talk to. So he even tells jokes. They are robot jokes, but okay. But he can tell a joke, and he is like a friendly person to talk to. And that's important, because that makes that people want to engage with him. So you have a database of insights created by a human. You have your chat platform, and Galvin uses 2 pieces of open source software to help you with that and to have a conversation with you. 3 cases, 3 things Galvin can do for you, 3 things we did. First one, Galvin impersonates a consumer segment. You've all probably heard or done segmentation studies. You know how hard it is to let segmentation studies land within an organization. What do? We create personas. Personas for each of the different segments. Still then, it's very hard to bring it to life. So Galvin can impersonate a persona. Galvin becomes a persona. So this is a case for a financial institution where they had one of their segments called Anna. And Anna is a young, wealthy mom. Galvin becomes Anna. So it feels like you're chatting not with Galvin, but with Anna. And Galvin uses all the insights he has around that particular persona, around that particular segment, to feed the conversation. So it's a different way of bringing segments, personas to life. The second case is the kind of Amazon trick. Galvin knows what other people like you are looking for, what other people like you have in terms of questions. So what will happen is that in the morning, when you for the first time go to your favorite messenger or chat application, well, Galvin will tell you, given who you are, and given what people like you ask me, This is, I think, the insight you might read, the consumer insight you might want to read about. So it's the same thing as what happens with books on Amazon. We are even now experimenting here with, can we look into people's Outlook calendars or Gmail calendars, and can we give them in a proactive way something like, given all the meetings that are on your plate today as a marketing or innovation person, this might be the insights that you need today. So we become proactive in sharing consumer insights. And the last one is one of my favorites. Here I have personally the dream to give every corporate market researcher in the world a robot assistant. I think every corporate researcher in the world in the future will have a robot assistant. Because we did research and we found out that 20% of the questions that a CMI manager within an organization, a research manager within an organization is getting is simple questions like, do we have any insights around our brand X in country Y towards target group Z? It's a typical question that a lot of corporate researchers get over the phone, through an email. Well, their future colleague, Galvin, can now answer those questions. This is an example from a big coffee company we are working for, where literally a marketing person is sitting together with a designer from their design agency, and they are discussing the design of their 1 kilogram pack of coffee. And they have 2 potential designs. And they are discussing which one could be the best. Actually, what is important, thinking system 1 for a pack, is that it's attractive on the shelf, that the distinctive assets of the pack are right. So, here, what can they do? They can ask Galvin, well, Galvin, what do we know about the attractivity of 1 kilogram packs of our coffee brand on the shelf? What makes them attractive? Galvin will look into all the previous research that has been done around distinctive assets and will come back with a couple of guidelines. And he can use those guidelines just a minute after to make a better informed decision. So I hope that you see that artificial intelligence doesn't need to mean bad things. We can get rid of the monkey jobs, and like in this example, it can allow us to do things that are just not possible before. But it's still a human-machine collaboration. The machines are not going to take over. The machines are going to help us to together do different things, like bringing personas to life in a different way, like bringing insights to people in a proactive way, like answering questions that would allow or need a human to go and dive into 10 different research reports just in 1 minute. What can Galvin do today? Well, he can give you those daily digests, he can answer basic questions, and he can provide you with inspiration. Towards the future, we are working on making that Galvin has memory, so that he remembers what you have asked last time, so that he becomes also smarter on that he knows, given the fact that 2 weeks ago you asked me this is probably what you need today. And we are also working on making him smarter, because NLP is still very basic. Still, in half of the cases, Galvin will say, can you repeat your question in a different way? I don't understand. But still, it's worth it to experiment with it today, because the technology really comes better almost by the day, almost by the week. And we're also giving it more personality. But there we don't want to go too far, because if it starts to feel like a human, people get scared. We're all scared of robots that feel too much human. So we keep it a nice robot guy with a nice robot face. And we are also working on voice control, because now it's still typing, but of course you have Amazon's Echo device, you have Google's Home device. We are also working on, can we make it voice control instead of typing to a chat application? So that literally in your meeting room, you can have your Echo device, your Google Home device on the table, and he can become part of the meeting and become part of the conversation. And then we have a situation, of course, like in the movie Her, that we just saw a little clip of in the previous presentation, where Galvin becomes really our personal assistant. Galvin becomes our friend. Galvin becomes our colleague. So I hope that you have seen two things, that artificial intelligence is something that will disrupt our industry, and you need to start experimenting with it today. What I showed to you is not perfect yet. We even don't commercialize it yet. But it's this type of experiments we need in the industry to become future-proof, to stay future-proof. And if we are not going to do it, if we are not, as researchers, going to experiment with artificial intelligence, other companies outside of the research industry will do it. So let's not let that happen. Let's all together start experimenting with it and use conferences like this one to share our knowledge and to share our progress. And secondly, when looking at Galvin as a way to bring insights to researchers, well, maybe it's time to also get rid of PowerPoint, because now PowerPoint is the way that we use to bring insights to people within our organization. We already experiment with all kinds of creative formats like movies and so on, but you also see that you can use chatbots and AI to bring insights to people in a much more easy, user-friendly way. Marketeers who experiment with Galvin love it. They don't need a PowerPoint anymore. They want Galvin. Galvin looks into the insights. Galvin brings it to them even when they don't ask for it. So maybe that's another challenge next to the challenge of start to experiment that I want to bring to you. Maybe by 2020 we need to kill PowerPoint. We need to definitely say goodbye, finally say goodbye to PowerPoint in our industry. So I hope that you accept my two challenges. Kill PowerPoint and start experimenting with AI. I hope that Microsoft doesn't find me, but okay, let's do it. And I hope to see you soon at a conference where you talk about those two aspects, how you have got rid of PowerPoint and how your first experiments with AI went. Thank you very much.